Okay, we did it.
Let me do a quick tweet.
Yeah, good call. I guess, I'm keeping it on brand for me since I'm hosting to have us start late. So.
It was in honor of Past Classics.
Right. Is this not a celebration of our book club? And what would it be if it wasn't me hosting and us starting late? So
there we go.
So it all comes full circle, really. But I'm so excited. This is about to be so silly and fun.
I am ready. I'm so excited about this.
Oh, okay. Well, as we are letting people trickle in, I'll just say, for those who might be watching later, welcome to the Past Classics Extravaganza, aka the Classies, where we are reviewing and summarizing and being silly about all the 15, I believe, books that we have read since our book club started.
Good for us.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was 15. Oh my God.
Yeah, because we had the full year of 2021 plus our 3 Brontes. So,
right.
Wow.
Yeah, we're zooming, and I gotta party. And yeah, it's just gonna be so fun and goofy.
Yes.
And I'm excited. So we have some general like normal kind of superlatives, like what's been our favorite book and our least favorite book, and then some that are more about like us, the hosts, and silly games and some memes along the way.
So this really is a true Past Classics retrospective. Like,
we're
bringing it all back. I love
it.
I don't know if any of you guys have drinks, but I forgot to bring or buy wine or champagne, so I have my last angry order.
I love it. But in a classy goblet.
Yeah.
I am drinking coffee because I thought 1 p.m. seemed a little early for alcohol. But it's in one of my favorite mugs, so I think that counts.
It's so cute.
Is that a Frida Kahlo mug?
It is, yes.
So cute.
And mine is wine in a big, it's supposed to be an iced coffee glass, but I never drink coffee, so I strictly use these for like alcohol.
Nice.
Another Taylor Swift one, so
I love it.
Very Rebecca this time, I think.
Yes.
Do we just want to dive right in? I'm like eager to get to all the shenanigans. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I wish I had like theme music, like when the Oscars come back from like a commercial break and they're like do 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 do. Right. Welcome back to the Classies. So we are going to start off with our big bookish ones, the big kahunas, if you will. Starting with our favorite book. I was going to say of 2021, but we're counting the ones we read before. So through the past year so far. And I took an average rating of our scores. And I would like for these first 3 categories for the selectors of these books to just give a little speech, as they do at awards shows. So our favorite book so far has been A Midsummer Night's Dream.
I wonder.
Rating of 4.3 stars.
Nice.
Wow. Taylor, take it away as the big winner here.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank my boy, Willie Shakes, for writing an absolutely excellent play. It's funny. It's romantic. It's weird. There's a furry in it. It's got everything, and I was so happy to be able to read it and discuss it with you two.
Beautiful.
Well said. Well said.
This is making me realize retroactively that in our 2022 Classies Awards, I will need to find the averages of like the best 3 and then present them like they do with like a close-up on each of us and be like, it could be the picture of Dorian Gray selected by Tara. Like, How fun. Okay.
Yeah.
So, mental note of that. I'm saying it now so none of us forget.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Well said. And I could not be prouder that
it was
most
Midsummer.
beloved pick is a Shakespeare.
Right before you said it, I wondered if it was that one. I was like, I think we all gave it at least 4 stars. Like, that one was a contender.
I didn't. I think if we had been more specific, it probably would have been Letter from Birmingham Jail. But I think some of us opted just not to rate it as a work of nonfiction that's so short. So
yeah. And I feel like we all had the most fun with the Midsummer Night's Dream. Like, Letter from Birmingham Jail is great, but it's also like a bit of a downer.
Yeah. I think we could say best and most favorite are 2 separate things.
Right. Yeah. Best work, and then that makes sense.
All right. Up next, we have the coveted title of least favorite book so far. Golly, I wonder what it is. It's Save Me the Wall. Harold, selected by me with a cumulative, or not cumulative, but average rating of, it keeps wanting to scroll over. Will you move? I can't get rid of this. 1.8 stars.
Yikes.
I would just like to say thank you to F. Scott Fitzgerald for motivating us all through our hatred to get through this terrible book. Mm-hmm. I would like to thank Zelda for her bravery in word choice and also sharing so much of her awful life. And I would like to thank my co-hosts for not DNFing.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I figured it was going to be between that and the Three Musketeers.
That's what I wondered about.
It was a close one. Luckily,
close race.
The Three Musketeers surpassed the 2-star average.
Right.
It was a close shave, though.
That'd be funny if Taylor had to give an acceptance speech for the best and the worst.
Literally, if I had to give a speech for the Three Musketeers one, this would be the first Pass It Classics that we would have to censor because
Dear Alexander Dumas.
Truly. And then our spiciest, dare I say, category of the most divisive book that we have read so far. So the one with the largest range of ratings. I think it went from a 2.5 all the way up to a 5-star, if I'm recalling correctly. And it was, 2 to 5 stars, Jane Eyre.
I knew it.
So,
I knew it.
Take it away, Sarah.
Okay, well, this is a little awkward, Charlotte. Sorry. I will never forgive you for 2 things. One of them is what you did to Anne's book, and the other is writing Jane Eyre. But Jane is a fantastic main character, and someday I hope to read her in a better book. Like a retelling or something. That's all I've got. I'm sorry, Jane. It's not your fault, girl.
It really is. A great character. We love her. Oh boy. All right. So those are the big book categories, the big trio. And now we have kind of a free-form debate section, if you will. For those of you viewing, we have some really strong feelings about characters that we've all expressed already, but it never hurts just kind of to delve back into them again. So first up, we have the elusive and much contested title of the biggest trash man. Who's the worst of them all?
It's a crowded field.
If you are not one of my co-hosts, you don't know, but I have just a list of suggestions of who you could pick, and this is a long list. I don't know if anyone has a man that they're drawn to, not defending, I guess, but persecuting, maybe.
Do you feel moved to persecute anyone in this room today?
I've got one, and it's the first one. It's Heathcliff.
All right, solid choice.
Just I mean, I think if we would talk about literally, in terms of literal trash man, he slept next to a dead body and didn't really seem to see anything wrong with that.
No.
Also, he's a freak. He's so weird. I just like, we've read a lot of trash men, but I don't think any of them have just dug up a body
and snuggled
it. Snuggled it.
I mean, valid points were made, yes.
I think, see, it depends on how we're determining trash, because if we're just talking about like more low level, like you'd call like, oh, he's such trash, versus like, you are a despicable human being. I think if we're going with the latter, I'd have to vote for Athos from Three Musketeers. Like, you can't get much worse than hanging your wife from a tree. Although D'Artagnan is also a strong contender, so maybe they could share the trophy. I don't know. I feel like Three Musketeers is my pick for that one. Any combination of the Musketeers. Aramis was not that bad, and Porthos ended up being like the surprising like MVP of that group. So I guess my vote would be Athos and D'Artagnan splitting the award.
To be fair though, like, you are the company you keep, and their reactions to hearing all this are like, sucks.
Sucks, bro. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And not sucks for your supposedly dead wife. Sucks that you had to hang your wife, man. That's
I know.
Longer. Like,
it's like that must have been rough for you.
Yeah, and I honestly, I was gonna go with Heathcliff as well, because he just, something about every move that man makes just really gets under my skin. I'll never go a day without thinking about the time that he said to his own child that his wife / his child's mother was a slut. Like,
yeah,
your own child.
Yeah.
Or like, who was it where he was like, yeah, I should have just like let you fall down the stairs and die. Like, everything that came out of that man's mouth, not good.
Yeah.
Every action, so questionable.
He also let his dogs like attack people.
Yeah, for sure. He sure did.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how to conclude this category other than men in classics. Oof.
Yeah.
It's rough.
I would be willing to go with Heathcliff if we're talking about a more like literal definition of trash, where it's like, you're not actually a monster as much as some of these others. You're just like the worst, but not literally the worst, you know? Whereas like the Three Musketeers should be arrested.
Yeah.
Arguably Heathcliff should be too, but
for
if we're going on basis
reasons.
of like who should be in jail, Mr. Rochester, jail. Maxim, jail.
Jail.
Dorian Gray, jail.
Like everyone. Yeah.
George Vavasor, jail. Everyone.
I know. This was the category where I'm like, we have so many contenders. Like,
yeah, it's impossible to pick, really. So honorary, little tiny. Oh my God, it's like when Snow White won the Oscar and they made the big Oscar and the 7 little Oscars for the dwarves. All the little classies going to each of the men because they're so bad.
You're an honorary mention. You're an honorary mention. I agree.
So there we have it. Biggest trash man, all of them.
Hannah votes for George Vavasor. He was the worst.
Arguably so terrible. He is getting a feature in our section later.
He sucked so much his own author was like, he's just gone. Like, bye, George. Like,
yeah. I'm done
I
writing
cannot
about
stand
this guy.
you.
Yeah. All right. Well, the next character category we have is number 1 book boyfriend. And I would be honored to start us off in saying that my pick is Assad from Light on a Broken Column. I think I made it pretty clear in that live show that he is my sun, moon, and stars, and I think he's perfect. So I didn't come with evidence, just he's perfect.
just the love in your heart. Like,
Yeah.
No evidence, just vibes.
Just vibes, yeah. That's kind of
as a lawyer.
That's kind of the setup for this section of the live show.
Yeah.
No evidence, just vibes.
Just vibes.
Yeah, I mean, I would be willing to give it to Assad. I think he's great. My pick, my instinct is John Brown from Like Water for Chocolate because he was so understanding. He was so kind and selfless. He like the consent, like that he always told Tita that like he didn't want to push her, which that's the bare minimum. But a lot of men in these books don't hit that, as we've discussed.
Yep.
So I think I gotta give it to John Brown for me.
Respect. I love him.
John Brown is a really strong contender. I think the other ones I would go for are Lee from East of Eden. Obviously when he's younger, but like, that man puts up with so much. I feel like the two of us as people of color can just stand around and go like, damn, like these white people are crazy, aren't they? My other option is, this is going to be kind of the opposite direction. St. John from Jane Eyre, just because he's so boring. I'd rather have boring than like Mr. Rochester, who is too exciting. Sometimes you're like, you know what, let's go with the quiet, religious colonizer.
Are you sometimes like that, though?
Sometimes you're like, I guess it's slim pickings.
This seems like the lesser of two evils here.
Yeah,
that's true. If that were the category, he'd take it away.
The slim pickings category. But I also agree with Assad and John Brown as well.
I love it. Beautiful. All right, yeah. Just vibes. Snaps for the boys. We love them.
Snaps for the boys.
There's a few who weren't trash after all. And then lastly, this category is kind of nebulous. You could take this to mean whatever you want, but I wanted us to have a moment to chat about the number one book besties out there, like the supporting characters who are like reliable and cool. And it's like, I would want that person in my corner if I was in all these scenarios. So Kara, do you want to start off this time?
Yes. So as soon as I saw your list, there's a lot of good options, but I'm like, I have to give it to Lee. Like, he held that family together. Like, he really, he was carrying that book on his back. And like, I feel like we got to give him props for that. So he's my choice. He was just like, he went above and beyond these like ridiculous people, like did not deserve the love and care he gave them, but he continued to do it. And, yeah, I just feel like he needs recognition for all the shit he put up with.
Bless his heart.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Kara. I also feel like Lee does deserve like a free back massage for like carrying that family.
Oh my God.
I would also like to throw out, and I don't know if we would call him a side character, but Basil from The Picture of Dorian Gray,
Basil!
who was so nice and so sweet, and all this man wanted to do was paint a picture for the man he clearly loved.
I know.
And only to see that man become full-on trash.
That is why I didn't put Basil on the list, because I went to put him under the book bestie list, and I went, book boyfriend? Like, yeah. So I just left him off, and I was like, if someone wants to say him, they'll say him. So I'm glad you said him.
Yeah. Pour one out for Basil.
Truly. R.I.P. Yes, I want to give an honorable mention to Frank from Rebecca. We all know I have a soft spot for Frank. I love him so dearly. I really think our girl should have just ran off with him, lived a normal life, gotten away from all the drama, but it's fine. However, I am going to go also with Lee. I think he's the dude, like yes. I still can't even believe when I was looking up the movie that the character of Lee doesn't exist in the movie. Because I don't understand how that's possible. Like, yeah, the movie must be bad. Like, it has to be bad, right? Like,
everything falls apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, it just goes to show how important he is. Like, what a pillar. I love that man. Cheers to Lee.
Cheers to Lee. Cheers. Snaps for the boys.
Snaps. This is snaps for the boys. Yeah, I don't know why the boys really overtook all these characters. I mean,
well, there's so many more men in these books than women.
I really wanted to root for Kate for book bestie, but then I kept remembering how much she was really pushing for George. And I was like, oh, took a little too long for her to come around.
I think she could be a contender for like strongest character arc, but like taken as a whole, I'm like, I'm not sure you're bestie material yet.
Category for next year, strongest character arc. I'm putting it in so I don't forget. Okay. Now we have the highly sought after. Oh wait, Nana's here and she's late, just like me. So
we moved the time and confused everyone. So.
See, it's not just me. She also thought it was at our usual time. Oh, Helen. Yeah, I almost put Helen in the besties list.
Yeah. Saddest character. Can we say that? I think this is spoilers, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
If you've tuned in, we're spoiling 15
everything.
Classic novels.
Right. So. All at once. Yep.
Okay, now for the just very highly sought after, coveted awards of the member superlatives. So first I have a couple just based on the books themselves, and then Kara's going to take it away with some like fun, silly, goofy, amazing ones. Okay, so first up, and if you would like to still do speeches for these, feel free. We have the Most Forgiving Reviewer Award. This goes out to which one of us is just like, yeah, I liked it. I had a good time. And looks over most of the terrible historical things that were written. And it goes to me. Are you surprised? Because I wasn't.
I am not.
Over 15 books, I have an average rating of 3.84 stars.
Whoa.
So
wow.
Not too shabby.
Nice.
Actually, that's lower than I thought it was going to be. I thought I would get like 4-star average, but it's all good. And I would just like to say, historical authors, you wrote some problematic things, but you know, the vibes are there, and that's what I'm here for. So thanks for the vibes. I think this
Snaps for vibes.
specifically going out to Dorothy Strachey in particular. Like, you had the vibes. They were really there. Thanks, Dorothy. And then we have the Harshest Critic Award. Which one of us is the most selective about the content of the books that we read, which also was unsurprising to me, as it goes to Kara.
I knew it.
With an average rating across 14 books, not including Letter to Birmingham Jail, of 3.06 stars, which is higher than I thought you would have gotten.
That's funny to me because I think of myself as like pretty much in the middle as far as like the reviewing spectrum. But I guess with classics, when I hate them, I really hate them. Like, there's not that many where I'm like, it was fine, I had a reasonably good time. I'm like having the time of my life, or I want to set it on fire. So in hindsight, this makes sense.
Also, I feel like Julia and I are also pretty lenient reviewers too. So just by comparison.
Yeah. It's like either it's a perfect book to Taylor, I'm in the middle, and Kara's the critical one. Or it's like a perfect book to me, Taylor's in the middle, and Kara's the critical one. Or we all three are equally like, it's a 3.5 stars. Like,
yeah.
I don't think we've read one book where Taylor and I are like, this sucks, and Kara's like, but guys, listen.
Well, looking at our upcoming schedule, there's like a few on this list where I'm like, I love this, and you can tell me nothing wrong with it. Like, so just hold your hats, you guys.
I'm excited for your moment to shine. Yeah, so congratulations on that.
Thank you for this dubious honor.
And the last of this category is for the most successful selector, which is the one of us who has the highest success rates of picking books that we all three like. And it goes to Taylor.
I thought so.
The only flop you have picked is the Three Musketeers. Everything else, we've all been like, this is pretty good.
Yeah, and I thought the Three Musketeers was gonna be one of like the best ones.
Oh, how naive we were.
Next year, I'm hoping for no flops, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, if you can keep that award 2 years running, I will be very impressed.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
And there we have it. Those are our bookish things. Well, everything's a bookish thing, but we're going to move on into the section that Kara's hosting, in which we have like fun, silly ones along the lines that we did for the Save Me the Waltz live show, which are like based on the books themselves.
So we have some fun host superlatives, as Julia said, inspired by particular books. And also you are allowed to vote for yourself. Like if you hear this description and you're like, me though, then you are allowed to do that. So we're just going to discuss these as we go, starting off with most likely to marry someone out of spite, which is inspired by Wuthering Heights, of course. Which of us do you think is most likely to do that?
I mean, this is a toughie to me. Personally, I think I'm out of the running for this. I totally think it's between the two of you. Kara, for you, I can see like you enjoying the potential like character arc of it for the both of you, like a hate to love thing going on. Whereas Taylor, I think you would just be like, yeah, that's kind of spicy and fun. Like let's just get married.
Let's just do it.
You know what? Let's just go for it.
Yeah.
I would also vote for Kara though, because I feel like you would start it with like, you know what? You want to kiss me so bad it makes you look stupid. I'm gonna marry you and make your life miserable. And then like 1 month in, you're just like, wow.
I love your reasoning for this. I also picked myself for this one, but for a much less positive reason, because I'm thinking back, like there are very specific things where I have a tendency to like cut off my nose to spite my face. And it's usually for the really big things that you should not do that for. So I think I like could actually do this. And it made me think of how when we read Mansfield Park, I like really identified with whichever Bertram's sister was like, well, I'm going to be miserable anyway. So I'm going to marry somebody to make you mad while I'm miserable. And I'm like, I would though. So I accept this crown.
Touche.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Okay, another fun one. Most likely to concoct an elaborate dress-up scheme to see if their crush likes them. This is from Jane Eyre. Because Mr. Rochester is a clown.
Literally such a...
Yes, it has no chill.
This is one of my favorite ones.
I'm quite proud of this one. Taylor, would you like to start us off?
Sure. So I'm stuck between Julia, just because like I know you do a lot of like theater and I feel like you have a lot of costumes and you're an actress, so you can like go undercover. Now the other person I'm going to push is going to be, it would be me, only because when I was in middle school, I set my crush up with my friend to throw him off the trail.
Oh,
I liked him, and they dated for a year.
Oh my god! That's terrible.
So I do relate a little to Mr. Rochester in that sometimes when you like someone, you just do weird stuff.
Yeah. I was gonna vote for myself until I heard that real life example.
Yeah.
Not to throw my name out there, but I was like, oh no.
No,
Listen,
I'm
sometimes you feel personally attacked and you gotta own it. What's that, Julia?
Yeah, I'm voting for Taylor also. Because Taylor, what?
Nana, I was like 14 and 15. I was like, this will be brilliant. You'll never find out now.
I mean, you were right, but at what cost?
Yeah,
at what cost?
Okay, well, same path as Julia. I was gonna vote for you, Julia, just because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like you'd have a really detailed, like, okay, you guys have to help me, here's what we're gonna do. But like, Taylor actually did this.
Yeah.
So, which is that cheating? I don't know, but I'm thinking Taylor.
Because most likely, I feel like I'm at like an 80% chance I would do that.
Taylor's 100%. It already happened.
So there we go. I mean,
well,
maybe not a dress-up scheme, but definitely elaborate.
Yeah. Congratulations, Taylor.
Thank you.
I look forward to hearing about how this goes for you. in future.
Mhm.
Okay, and then rounding out our Bronte selections, who out of the three of us do we think is most likely to fight someone on sight with zero knowledge of the facts? Because I had a hard time with this one until I remembered us all talking about Gilbert just like punching that man out in the street and just leaving him there. Like, had no context for what was going on. He's just like, I don't like you. I don't like the way you're looking at me. Just left him for dead.
What a man.
Have you ever seen, sorry, this is slightly off topic, but have you ever seen Blazing Saddles?
Mm-mm.
I know what it
Well,
is,
it's a
but-
parody of like Western films, and there's this like villain named Mongo, and he's big and basically illiterate. But like he goes into the saloon and he like puts his horse like at the stall, and someone's like, "Hey, you can't park your horse here," and he just walks up and punches him.
Yep.
Same energy. Yeah.
Yes, yes. All right, so any thoughts? Julia, do you want to go first?
This one's a toughie because I feel like depending on the scenario, it could be all three of us. Like, depending on what kind of unknown situation or person is being approached, like, I could imagine any one of us, like, getting that absolutely enraged. Maybe not a good thing, but we're passionate people, you know?
Yes.
We are.
I think I'm just based on stubbornness. I'm gonna go with Kara. I feel like you would have just like a gut reaction to something and be like, absolutely no.
I was going to say, Kara, I love you, but also if you saw Mr. Rochester walking free in the
Oh, yeah,
street,
yeah.
I feel like also not even knowing anything about him, you would be like, well,
Yeah.
Guess I gotta. You know, I wasn't gonna pick myself for this one, but you guys make a compelling argument. I don't think I would actually hit somebody because I'm not super confrontational,
Yeah.
but in terms of the energy and the stubbornness and the like instinctive aggressiveness for specific things, I will accept this.
Oh,
Fair enough, you guys. Fair enough. Thanks, Ellen.
I love it.
Okay. Also, so I've noticed that several of these, when I was coming up with them, involve similar, like, I don't know, similar kind of vibes, because this next one is also about fighting, because that happened a lot, I guess, in the books we've read. But most likely to fight a duel, but then become besties instead, which is from Three Musketeers, inspired by that iconic opening scene with D'Artagnan just, like, fighting everybody he comes across.
that's stupid.
Yeah. Hey, but he did make a great friend group who all shared his interests in being terrible.
What if this was like the moment where we like unveiled the truth that like the reason our book club started was because we all had like Twitter beef with each other? We're like, this Bronte book is the best. No, this one. And then we're like, let's make a book club to prove it. And now we're all back.
Oh my god. What an origin story that would be.
It'd be so amazing. It's too bad it's totally a lie, but you know, it'd be cool. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. This is another one where I could like see it from different angles and like pick different people, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that this is one like that I did pick myself for because I hate confrontation. I hate it so much. And I could absolutely see myself getting into a situation where it's like, wait, could we just like make up? Because that would be great. I'm really stressed right now. So that was my reasoning.
I could see that, yeah.
I like it. Yeah. Let's stick with Kara because I'm good with that.
I would just like passive aggressive my way out of having a fight. Like let's just not duel and say we did. I just realized there are like several duels in these that we read.
Duels are great.
What is a classic without like a duel, some pining?
Speaking of which, yeah. Speaking of which, Julia, our next one is a very different theme from our last, and that is most likely to pine for their love in silence, which is tragically from the Children's Hour.
There you go. Tragically from half our books.
Honestly, yes.
I'm maybe leaning towards you, Julia. Maybe. I feel like you would love also the romantic angle of just pining.
Yeah. Yeah. As someone who has spoken their feelings towards someone romantically 0 times ever, I would say this is definitely me. Yeah. I will pine in silence to my own detriment. Oh, yes.
Yes. I agree. I would also do this, but I think I accept Julia as the answer for this one.
Most likely for
the Shakespeare.
Catch me like disguised as a man in the corner, like, please, why don't you love me? Yeah.
All right. Congratulations, Julia.
Yeah.
One of our more wholesome options on this list, most likely to open their own bookstore, which is from East of Eden. I like the one I was originally, the thing I kept thinking of for this one, I was like, most likely to date their sibling's ex. I'm like, that's weird. That's weird. I don't want to do that. So here's what we have instead.
Listen, I don't have a sibling, but I would do it for the drama.
I do have siblings and I would not. It just would be too weird to me.
Yeah, my middle sister is gay, so that wouldn't work on either of our ends. And my youngest sister is 5 years younger than me, and that would be just bizarre.
Yeah.
Touche.
So, most likely to open their own bookstore.
Wait, can I be what's the word I'm looking for? Can I be controversial and say we all 3 open it together?
Ooh.
I would love that.
Yeah.
The classies.
The classy bookstore.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then with our, like bookstores have like their little bookseller like blurbs under it. And, like, it has our ratings of like our past IT Classics books, and we're like, Kara hated this one, but Julia says 5 stars.
We could also have like categories like this, like if you're looking for books with trash men.
Yeah.
Are you in the mood to be really angry about everything? Here, read this. I think that's a wonderful answer. I was originally going to say Julia, just because I feel like either of you guys could, but I feel like Julia especially is suited to like, I don't know, like really cozy homebody vibes, and it's like just, curled up in your little bookstore and helping people find books. I feel like Taylor, you like to go out and do things more than me or Julia. Maybe. I don't know.
I think I appreciate it now more than ever, but I don't go out now. So
that's the truth. So I think I support our triple threat bookstore. I love it.
I think between like Taylor's business sense, my like cozy vibes, and then Kara's like keen eye for books, like we would just have a well-rounded shop going on.
Exactly. So. And we could put it in the midpoint of all of our states.
Where would that be? We'd have to.
Probably not very cool, honestly.
Like Texas, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Texas wouldn't be the worst. I've got several friends in Texas, so
they have good bookstores, I've heard. So
yeah,
it's true.
A question for Google Geography at a later date.
Yeah, I'll do some math. Pinpoint that exact longitude and latitude.
Yeah. It's like in a river somewhere. Okay, moving on, we have most likely to start a heartbreak support circle, which is from The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Oh, Basil.
Oh, Basil. R.I.P., man.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe Julia?
I think Julia too, like especially because of all the like emotion and like mood stuff she does with her kids like in school. I think you'd be great at it. You're like, let's just talk about your feelings and talk about why you're feeling that way, and let's just talk about the fact that you're loved and you don't need him. Like I think
you're just like, he's trash.
Right. Leave him where you found him. Like,
I know. No, but the sad thing is, like, with the preschoolers, I can't say, like, well, your friend is being trashed.
Yeah, dump them.
I think I have to be a little more diplomatic.
Right.
My favorite is, like, it's a classic, like, kid line of, like, the "you're not my friend anymore," like one of those. Is I have to just, like, gently be like, sometimes when people are really sad or mad, they say something that they might not mean and that they're going to change their mind about. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry your friend said that, but they're going to forget it after nap time. So,
Right. It's like time heals all wounds, even if it's like 10 minutes.
yeah. But yeah.
I would also like to point out that Helen said I did a very good impression of you, Julia. So I'd like to take that crown too.
Absolutely. And I also agree that we could just put it in Canada.
Yeah.
That's
Let's international branches. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Mostly this is another one where it's like apparently this has happened in real life, so I don't know if we need to debate this one, but most likely to disastrously match make from Midsummer Night's Dream. Should we just agree it's Taylor?
Taylor.
Whoops.
What's that?
It's just,
I can't believe.
You know that feeling when you accidentally set up your crush with your friend and everyone's like, no?
That awkward
You
moment.
purposely do
Yeah.
it?
You like someone so much, you set them up with your friend to throw them off the scent.
Yeah.
Just the
Yeah,
self-sabotage in that.
And then like a week later going, oh my god, this is working out.
What have
They're
I done?
perfect together. No!
They're happy.
I hope at least it was a friend who was similar to you. Is that better or worse? Like,
She was
No.
not like me at all, and the relationship
wow.
did end in disaster, which I also felt bad about. But
I mean, I'd feel a little better about this. Hence the vindictive streak that I have. Okay, so that was a quick one.
yeah, easy peasy.
Yeah. Most likely to break up twice with the same person. This is from Can You Forgive Her?
My gut instinct said Taylor because I have no tolerance for even people I've like hypothetically dated. Like people will tell me their relationship problems and I'm like, I would have broken up with him 2 weeks ago. Like, what's
Yeah.
wrong with you?
Yeah.
And then we know, how stubborn Kara is. So
you know what? That's fair. Like, if it was something that's just mildly annoying, I could see myself getting over it. Fair enough.
Which arguably is good, that you can, that there are things you can work past rather than just like, that's it, I'm out. Like,
oh yeah. No, listen, I'm not going to name names, but I have a friend who is very happily married to a man she broke up with like 3 times before they got married. So
there you go.
you can make it work.
And Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton come to mind. Like, they certainly had an interesting relationship. I don't know how happy they were all the time. They strike me as one of those like high highs and low lows couples.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Most likely to confuse future editors. I think we all know this one. This is from Save Me the Waltz. No surprise there. So.
Oh boy.
Oh Lord.
This is one that I said myself because I write very confusing notes that make perfect sense to me and are not helpful to other people. Like anytime somebody would ask me to look at my notes for something, I'd be like, let me make them make sense first. So I don't know if that helps.
That's fair. I was leaning towards you, Kara, so
It's like, what was going on in her head? Like the world may never know.
Either really excited or really angry and just writing everything out stream of consciousness and then looking back at it and going, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I am a good editor, I feel like, but I definitely like when I'm writing things down, I have a tendency to assume I'm the only one who's going to read them, which is not always the case.
yeah.
So sometimes I make connections that other people would not. Yeah, so I wasn't trying to steer that one. I just wanted to mention if you were thinking of me, you can say it because I
like that. And I get what you're saying too, because like that's how I feel. Because I use the app Bookly, where like you can save quotes and you can save thoughts as you're reading, kind of like when you like save like where you are on Goodreads and it leaves you that space to just type whatever. And when I go back and look at my notes out of context, I'm like, what was I reacting to? And it'll just be like, yes, queen. And I'm like, what was she doing? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get it.
Or the classic one I do is like, I'll write something down like that I have to say to someone or do. And I'm like, I'll know what that means. And then like literally the next day, I'm like, what was I talking about? Like, I was like, does this mean I need to call them? Does this mean like I lost something important? Like, what do you mean? And the you is myself. Okay. We're just at the last few here. We have most likely to marry the nice one, probably named John Boring Color. I had to. And that is, of course, from Like Water for Chocolate, although also inspired by Can You Forgive Her, because there's a theme.
Old John Boring Color.
Oh, John.
I love him. I mean, I would like to throw my own name into the ring.
I was going to say,
you were the first person I thought.
Yeah. And you'd be very happy together.
Yeah. Literally, like, show up with, like, no personality, just, like, sympathy and kindness and patience. And I'm like, wow, a dream man.
That is a personality.
Beige.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yes, I vote for Julia as well.
Good. I'm glad we all see me the same way.
Yeah. Well, it's just, and the fact that you literally said during one of our live shows, like, he's just boring enough that I love him. Like, I feel like we had a primary source for this one.
Yeah, well, it's true, because, like, I'll read, like, more modern books, for example, where, you know, you'll get this love interest and he seems like nice and cool or whatever. And then there'll be like this scene where he's like really possessive of her or something. And I'm like, ew, stop feeling things so much. Just go back to being a beautiful blank slate like I thought you were. Like, now you're showing things I don't like. I'd rather have boring than any trait I don't like, which is why I'm single.
I was going to say, though, that's a good point. Yeah. Well, and the alpha thing turns me off as well. So you are not alone. Okay. Most likely to make a pun about their horrible injury. This is from Sunlight on a Broken Column. I'll say, like, instantly, my brain was like, Taylor. Like, yeah.
Absolutely, Taylor.
Like, I could just picture you trying to diffuse the tension. Like, everyone's really worried about you, and you're like, LOL, though. Like, wait.
Okay, to be fair, I have done that so many times. Like, I'll be in the middle of an asthma attack, and I'll be like, look at you. You gave me asthma.
Okay, perfect. Yes.
Okay, great. So, solid. All of the ones we pick for Taylor, she's like, this has happened, actually.
Okay, I was going to say, one time in college, my friend, like, hurt her knee really bad. And, like, my first instinct when I get hurt is to, like, say something to diffuse the tension. So I started laughing, and I was like, did you hobble your way across campus? And she was like, yes, it really hurts. And I was like, oh. And I felt so bad.
Oh, no.
I went out and, like, helped her get frozen peas and stuff, but
good.
I was like, oh wait, people don't react the same way I do.
Yeah. Read the room, Taylor. That's all we okay, and then our final one, our grand finale, is from our most recent read, Olivia. And this one was hard because I'm like, there's a lot of things. The only big situations in this book are like terrible. I realized I skipped one. So the grand finale is actually going to be something else. But the one for Olivia is most likely to overanalyze every interaction with their crush. Which, like, don't we all do this? I do, at least. Speaking for myself, I know I do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
Is this not a universal human trait? I don't know.
Touche. Okay, yeah. Another three-way answer, I think.
Yeah. And I didn't think of that as I was writing it, but it's one where, like, doesn't everyone do this? If you don't, you're too powerful. Like,
Yeah. People who aren't like, wait, did I catch him looking at me? Or did he look at me because I was looking at him? Like that thing, like, good for you if you're that powerful. I couldn't relate.
I could never. Yeah. So I did not intend to make this the finale, but it's kind of hilarious that this is. Most likely to cover up a murder for love. This is brought to you by Rebecca. I could not think of one for this one, so I had to go with the one that's kind of awful. Like, I don't think any of us would, but who has that energy, we should say.
Man.
Which one of us could kill?
Right, I should say
kill. We just have to cover it up.
Just cover it up.
That's true.
And like I said, I don't think any of us would, but who has the energy of like, yeah, like I could imagine this happening in like a fictional setting. Like you'd be a character who would do this. We're not like actually accusing anyone of being an accessory to murder.
Thank goodness for that. Dang. Yeah, because once you put it in the like literal, like fictional hypothetical, like if we were in a novel, like I might.
I was gonna say, I think Julia would be like the twist. Like, you know, it's like
the right character who's the murderer, I would defend them.
Well, especially if it was like a mitigating circumstance thing where like maybe like a friend of yours killed her abusive boyfriend or something, or like, you know, that kind of situation.
Sorry, I'm like,
no, go for it.
I just watched Fried Green Tomatoes for the first time in my life. Have either of you seen it or read it?
I know of it.
So there's a character who has an abusive husband, like physically, emotionally, the whole 9 yards, like terrible, terrible man. And her best friend / canon, but not canon girlfriend, we know they're in love, it's fine, is accused of murdering him. And that's like a big plot point. And I was like, as a viewer, I don't care if she murdered him or not. She was right to do it if she murdered him. Good for her. So yes, I would.
Yeah. And my other thought too is like, I could picture like in mysteries, you know, there's like all those different like suspects or witnesses, and there's the one that's like really nice and sweet and helpful, and then you find out that they did it at the end. I could see that being Julia. Like you're the plot twist.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
I could see you doing that, like out of love.
Out of love.
Meanwhile, I'm here like, I know I can't survive in jail.
Oh, same.
I have too much hair. Someone's going to snatch it.
I'd be there like hyperventilating because I'm like, what is the right thing to do? Like, what if I don't know all the circumstances of the murder? What if I do something wrong? What if I cover up for the wrong person? And I'd be like so suspicious that they'd be like, did you do it? Like, so Julia it is.
Perfect.
And okay.
It's just kind of boiled down to like, who's going to do the silly, goofy thing? Taylor. Who's going to do the stubborn thing? Kara. And who's going to do like the I love you and I'm going to be silent now thing? Julia.
We kind of had themes.
Yeah. We know each other very well.
Yeah. Would you guys believe that I didn't used to think I was a stubborn person? I know.
I mean, I think I'm a stubborn person, and then I talk to you, and I'm like, I think I'm pretty reasonable.
I know I'm a pushover. So.
See, like, I'm like a pushover about very specific things, and I'm stubborn about very specific things. So just depending on what you're asking me about, you could get a very different idea of my personality. Like, I just yesterday took a, like, personal values assessment, and I had 0 in the, like, physical survival category. Like, apparently I'm terrible at taking care of myself. I know. It's fine. Let's move on.
Oh my god.
So those were our host superlatives. I hope you enjoyed getting to know us very well in hypothetical situations. Yeah, that's my section.
Love it.
Congratulations, everyone. We all took home some crowns today.
Yeah, we're all the winners, or are we?
Yeah, I know. Some of these, like,
we're all the clowns.
Yeah.
Yes.
So before our big oh wait, thank you, Helen. Before our big grand reveal of our 2022 books, I'd like to take a brief moment for a meme roundup. Yeah! Meme roundup, everyone. This is not the, I don't know, it made me think of Woody's Roundup, which is this is not a full list of like all our memes that we've shared, but it's just a highlight reel, really. It's some of the best, the creme de la creme. And it's really only from a couple books because some of them are just so memeable. So I'm going to find a way to share my screen real quick. And then you will get to see. I want you to see this window. Okay, we got it. Can we see?
Yes.
All right, great. I want to start off with what's not a meme, but is, oh, dang it. Oh, now it's the wrong window. Hold on. How do I do this better? Hold on. What's not a meme, but what is, how do I say, just the creme de la creme of the comments section, I suppose. Well, now I can't think of a better way to show this. Okay, hold on. I'm removing it and doing it again. We're going to do this better.
I've never screen shared on StreamYard before, so you're doing great.
Thank you. You're also patient. Okay. Window. Okay, what if I do this? And then that. Oh, not you. This.
Yeah.
Club slogan.
Yep.
Because Nina really said it all.
Thank you,
She
Nina.
said, how is this book both feminist and sexist?
Yep.
They just are. They just are. Now, if I close this, is it going to? Oh, no, great. Okay, I can go sideways. So here we have a classic. Which really says it all. I don't know what commentary to provide because they really are just
self-explanatory.
Some Dorian Gray memes. He just will not relent, you guys.
Every time.
Some more Dorian.
Basil, do this.
Poor Basil.
Basil kill himself. That's terrible.
Oh my god.
And of course, the support group has alluded to,
which we now know is run by Julia.
Yeah, so that's me. Picture that man with the beard. That's me. Okay. My personal
This is my favorite.
Which I wish I can I zoom in? Because it's very low res, but yeah, Tenet of Wildfell Hall. She was like, yeah, it's a book about a man. I'm gonna trick them all into reading this.
It's my favorite.
And I love that for her. Oh no, where's the other one? Oh no, did I not save it? It was so important to me. Hold on.
Is it?
Wait. Yeah, there it is. Why wouldn't it? Okay, hold on. I got to share it one more time. For some reason, it just didn't want to pop up next, but it's a very important, a classic moment that we quote all the time. And it is, of course, the MILF of Wildfell Hall. Because it's what she is.
Good for her.
Yeah. I'd like to give a special thank you to Julia for being head of memes for the entire run of our show. Thank you, Julia.
I've really gone lax on them. I need to get back on the meme front because I miss them.
So good.
And then lastly, believe it or not, we're coming to the end of our live awards show, our first annual Classies. And Taylor is going to be sharing the selections for the year ahead, including this month, which we've said. But if you haven't tuned in lately, you'll get a refresher.
Yes. So I'm really excited. Hopefully I can reclaim my prize as having what was it? The
Best selector, I think.
Yeah.
best selector. I was just gonna say the best reader, but that's
I
not
called you the most successful selector.
exactly.
Tongue twister.
So in January, we're starting with me. So I'll be hosting our live show for A Study in Scarlet and A Scandal in Bohemia by Arthur Conan Doyle. I can't pronounce anything now. In February, Kara is going to be hosting our discussion of Lady Windermere's Fan by Oscar Wilde.
The cover looks. I know. I brought a few with me. The cover is wrong, but this has it in there.
In March, Julia will be hosting our discussion of A Raisin in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry and Clybourne Park by Bruce Norris.
So excited.
In April, I will be hosting our discussion for Women, Race, and Class by Angela Davis. I think that might be my most anticipated of the ones I'm hosting.
I'm excited.
In May, Kara will be hosting our discussion on The Nobility and Excellence of Women and the Defects and Vices of Men by Lucrezia Marinella.
I love us having like feminist nonfiction spring. So cute.
I know.
Then we have in June Heidi by Johanna Spyri.
I don't know how to say it.
That woman.
I love that Kara brought the props. Yes.
In July, we have Dante's Inferno by Dante Alighieri. Which is actually a reread for me that I am so excited for because I love Dante's Inferno.
Me too. I haven't read it since high school and I'm hyped.
In August, Kara will be hosting our discussion for Agnes Grey by the author of The MILF of Wildfell Hall herself, Anne Bronte.
Yes. Queen.
Can she have 2 hits? I hope so.
Fingers crossed. In September, Julie will be hosting our discussion of Orlando by Virginia Woolf. In October, I will be hosting our discussion of A Room with the View by E.M. Forster.
I did my wrong thing. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I ruined everything. I'm sorry. Keep going.
We have to start from scratch. Start the whole
I know. Sorry.
Take 2.
In November, Kara will be hosting our discussion of The Pale Lady by Alexander Dumas, which I guess we're giving him another go because
we're gonna try. Yeah, this is my third chance with him because I did really like Count of Monte Cristo, but I'm excited to read a vampire story by him. So
yeah.
Well, listen, we're doing 3. Second chance authors here. We have Oscar Wilde and Anne Bronte and Alexander Dumas.
That's true.
So and love that for us.
I love our unintentional theming. We're so good.
we're so smart. Big brain.
Yeah.
In December, Julia will be hosting our discussion for The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Larue, which I am also super excited about because my favorite musical is Phantom of the Opera.
It's so good.
It's so trashy, but I love it.
It's not all trash. I love it too.
It's not all trash, but it does have that monster boyfriend trash that I quite love.
Yeah. Fair.
Also a contender to unseat Heathcliff as our...
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'll be reading that this year. I started last year Phantom Heart, which is like a YA retelling of the Phantom of the Opera. And the last time I went to my friend Brittany's house, like every time I come over, she's like, borrow this book. And I'm like, thanks, friend. And she literally gave me a book called Phantom, which is like supposed to be his origin story. So,
I've heard there's like quite a few retellings.
I heard one part of it is from his mom's point of view, so I'm hyped.
Julie's like, a mom? You say?
So yeah, it's gonna be a spicy 2022.
I'm so excited for these. Yeah.
I love our list. I think it's a good mix of like short and long, new and people we've read before, like different formats, play, nonfiction, fiction, some middle grade.
Good job, us.
Yeah,
I'm excited for these as well.
Helmets looks excited too.
Yay.
I
was like, motherhood got me in.
I was gonna say everyone being supportive, and Nana's actually read one of these ahead of us, which is fantastic. Also, I wasn't going to, she's also excited for Heidi. I wasn't going to shout this out, but I'll just say, because we are reading Agnes Grey, my friend Sarah from Sarah's Perusals is hosting a Bronte along this year, starting in February, and they're reading all the works of the Bronte sisters, which, you know, we've read a few of those. We like them here. We like the Brontes for the most part. So they're reading Agnes Grey in February. So if you're joining in for them, you will be prepared by the time we read it in August.
Oh.
And it also gives you an excuse, like me, to reread The Tenant of Wildfell Hall, because I can't wait.
I know.
So yeah, slight departure in promotion there, but there you go. And that's it. That's our first annual Classies Awards. Yay! Wish I had like a confetti pop or like.
I know.
I don't want to make a mess either. Yeah. Any final thoughts?
Can we ask, if you guys are in the comments and you've been like reading or tuning in, can we ask what your favorite was? Because I'm just very curious.
Yeah. Good question.
And you don't have to have like read a certain number or anything. I'm just nosy and I want to know.
True. And you know what? That makes me think too. I'm going to write a note for next year to ask that on Twitter ahead of time, so we can have it like ready to say like, and the viewer favorite
viewer's choice.
Oh, the Viewer's Choice Award. That's so cute.
Helen said Midsummer.
Yes, same.
Yep. That was also my favorite.
Nana's just excited. She reads when she can.
Yeah, we should. What was?
Rebecca.
Oh, she's good, Rebecca. I'm glad. Yeah, I love that one too.
Yes. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna ask you guys what your favorite was.
So technically I would say Jane Eyre was my favorite, but that was a reread for me.
Yeah.
Of the new stuff that we read, A Midsummer Night's Dream. Absolutely.
I think if I also don't count rereads, I think mine has to be Tenant of Wildfell Hall or Sunlight on a Broken Column, which Hannah just answered as well. Like I really liked both of those, and they were both really surprising. Which is why I think you shouldn't assume people are okay with spoiling classics. Yeah. I have strong feelings about that.
Also, Helen liked Rebecca.
Rebecca was good. I liked Rebecca.
It's a good one.
It was another reread for me too. Yes, if we're counting rereads, A Midsummer Night's Dream is just one of my favorites of all time, so that's obviously mine. But I think like my new favorite of the bunch we read is definitely The Tenant of Wildfell Hall. But I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed Can You Forgive Her and Olivia. Like those two.
Yeah.
I will think about a lot and definitely reread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
especially
also
like the first half. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Taylor.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, especially the first half of Can You Forgive Her? Like, even though we talked about certain things went downhill, it's like I'm really excited to keep reading more from him. And he has like a ton of books, so that's exciting.
Oh, yeah. There's a ton of Anthony Trollope novels out there.
Yeah.
Really.
I would also say a close. I was just gonna say that a close runner-up to A Midsummer Night's Dream of the new books I've read was East of Eden. I quite enjoyed that one.
Yeah,
more than I thought I would.
Yeah, that was probably biggest surprise for me, I think. Yeah. Wow, what a like wildly mixed bag that was.
I know.
There were so many things happening.
I had to keep going on Goodreads to like try to average out our ratings of different stuff, and like that's the funny thing about East of Eden was like I gave it 3.5 stars, but my review is so true. It's like there are things that I did not like about this book, but it's going to live in my mind rent free, and it does. I think about it a lot.
Exactly. I think I even said that like when I do my most surprising books for 2021, which I ended up with a lot of them this year. I think I even say that about East of Eden is like there are things in that book that I think I'm going to think about forever, and it's like one of those where people are like, "Hey, should I read it?" It's like maybe. I don't know. It depends. Like, but I love some of it and I hate some of it. I don't.
Yeah. It's a long book, so there's a lot of opportunities for like good chunks and bad chunks.
Yeah. There was a lot. That's like another one that had like highs and lows. Like it wasn't really like, I guess it averaged out to middle of the road, but it's like I was either really loving it or really hating it. There was like no in between.
I am making us a new category for next year's Classies for the book awards, and it's going to be the biggest roller coaster award.
Oh,
because I think East of Eden would have gotten it this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Nana has a question.
Who was your favorite villain? Ooh.
I know what your guys' is.
You do?
At least I think I do.
I don't even know if I know what mine is.
Yeah. What do you think ours would be?
I assumed Milady.
Oh, favorite villain. Yeah, Milady.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I think mine.
I like them. Yeah.
I think mine is probably Rebecca. It's
Rebecca's also good.
Like she's the fact that she is such a good antagonist and she's not even alive when the book is happening. I'm like, I respect you. You terrify me, and you're a horrible human being, but not that bad compared to a lot of the other people we follow. Which, like, we talked about that for the live show. Is like, yeah, like the things she did, like cheating is definitely wrong, and like all these other things. Like she was a horribly manipulative person, but she didn't actually murder people. That's where the bar is. Like,
True.
I love that we have like a trash men section, and then for our favorite villain, they're women, and we're like gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. Because Rebecca's also a good villain too.
Yeah,
that was the thing. Is like I had posted a meme thing of Rebecca, but it wasn't like handmade memes as the other ones were. It was just like a picture of like girl boss and like So I was like, I can't really share these because they're not of the same caliber. But yeah, I did just want to give like a little shout out to all the girl boss memes that we shared throughout the year.
And I remember, Taylor, didn't you say during the live show, you're like, just a girl boss trying to build her empire. Like, I bullied my husband into murdering me, so.
Big Lady Macbeth energy.
Yeah.
I'm not like other girls.
Yeah. And I think I agree with Nana. Dorian's a great villain too.
Dorian's great.
Yeah.
He really villained it up. Good for him.
What was like the most heartbreaking character death for you guys? I think mine has to be Desi and her brother from East of Eden. Like, that ripped my heart out and stomped on it. Like,
yeah,
I could not handle it.
I'm like looking back at the list to be like.
Although I have to give an honorable mention to Helen Burns, who Hannah mentioned earlier, because I knew that was coming, and I like wasn't even enjoying the like stuff at the school, but I'm like crying. Like.
Okay, so I think mine would be, and I'm so bad at names, so I apologize ahead of time. So Helen Burns, I agree with. Milady from the Three Musketeers, because she was right the whole time. She should not have died like that.
It was a really frustrating, death.
It was like brutal, honestly.
It was, yeah. My biggest issue,
Queen.
The issue I had with her is like, because when she's taking revenge on the people who were horrible to her, I'm like, yeah, like go after them. But the thing that bothered me is she started killing like other women who had nothing to do with what happened to her. But
yeah.
Sorry, Taylor, I didn't mean to.
No, it's fine. Nothing a little therapy can't fix.
That's right. Walk it off.
And I can't remember her name, but the lesbian teacher from the children's hour.
Oh, yes.
Did not deserve to go out like that.
Yes.
And like her death was just so disrespectful.
Yeah.
So that was sad to me because she should have been allowed to like live her life as a cool and cute lesbian.
Martha.
Yes.
Her name is Martha.
Thank you.
Yeah. Martha's a good pick.
Yeah, because I don't think I'm a crier, and I can't remember any of these books making me like cry.
Really? I'm surprised.
Well, I cried for the sake of Assad, but not because he was dying, just because like he was clearly in love and he wasn't being loved back, and it hurt.
Yeah.
I can't. Maybe I cried and I just forgot about it. Maybe East of Eden made me cry. But I think for me, the saddest character death, I think I'm still really bummed about both Basil and what was his actor girlfriend's name?
Oh, I hated that.
So sad for her.
Yeah. What did her?
That made me really sad.
Yeah, I hated that as well. All of these are good answers, honestly.
Yeah. I feel like we should also have a category for like not most disappointing author, but like we were rooting for you author, because I thought Oscar Wilde would be like more progressive than he was, but half of this book was just women. Am I right?
Am I right? Yeah. I'm hoping to redeem him for everybody with Lady Windermere's fan.
Oh, listen, I've read, not Lady Windermere's fan. I've read The Importance of Being Earnest, so I know how good he can be.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm just
well, and
looking
like one of my favorite lines. I don't remember which of his other plays it's from. I think it's either A Woman of No Importance or An Ideal Husband, but I don't remember which one. He's got this great line about like some man is being like an asshole, and he says something about like, ugh, every woman becomes her mother, and this other character says no man becomes his, and that is their tragedy or something. And I'm like, see, Oscar Wilde, like I love it so much. So I'm hoping there's more of that in Lady Windermere's fan. Nana, yeah, was rooting for Dumas. I know. Like, I will say, I was shockingly, I was shocked that I enjoyed Count of Monte Cristo so much after reading that one. So he did redeem himself for me a little bit.
And Kara, I have good news for you. Amidst the 12 friends recommend 12 books extravaganza, Yulia did tell me to read The Count of Monte Cristo, so I'll be reading it this year.
It's so good.
It's really good. That's a beast, though. Like,
I know. She was like, I feel bad, but
I do think it actually reads very quickly for most of it because it's really well written. There's actually some good humor. Like, it does every single thing better than Three Musketeers did. Like, even the female characters, like, they're not like amazing, but they actually have personality. I have some issues with some things about the ending, but like as characters, I really liked them. So I think you could enjoy this one a lot more.
Yeah.
Anything that has an adaptation featuring Henry Cavill, I can get through. No problem.
Henry Cavill's in a version of the...
Yes, he is. I don't know who he plays, but it's like young Henry Cavill. Like, he's so cute. He's like little. He's like probably, I don't know, like 18 or something.
I'll have to watch. Like, people were talking when I did my review. Some people were like, "Oh yeah, the movie versions changed all this stuff about the ending, and I don't like it." I'm like, I think I'm gonna like that, so I need to watch them. Please change this.
He is in the 2002 version of it, so I don't know how old he is then, but he plays Albert Mondego, if that means anything to you.
Oh, he's Albert. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I think he would be good. Him.
Also, now I'm gonna look up how old he is. 2002.
Yeah, I was really hoping for the Three Musketeers because I'm like, you know what? Let's do a book written by a black man. Let's just go for it. And then I was reading it and I was like, oh my god, oh no.
He was 19. I was so close.
Oh.
But you also picked Letter from Birmingham Jail, which was fantastic. So.
I did. I was like, I need to make up for this.
One black man came out victorious.
One of them did this year. Alexander Dumas. I'm like, well, you can't win them all.
Yeah.
No. And there is not a day that goes by that I don't have my Taylor Swift music on shuffle and I hear the man and I'm like, go, milady, go. I love you. I think of her every time I listen to that song. So
I also want to mention, if anybody is, I don't know, like unsure if they want to read The Pale Lady, I just wanted to mention that it's very short. And not only is it a vampire novel by Alexander Dumas, which I think is incredibly interesting, but I mentioned this for Julia specifically. I believe it involves a love triangle where two siblings like the same person, which we all know is Julia's brand. So if that sways anybody.
I don't know why. Also,
oh yes,
what?
He's in Stardust. He has
where and when?
Tiny, he's like not in the magical world.
Oh no,
he just has this very tiny role.
I forgot he was in that.
Good point, Nana. I will say I do like him in The Witcher though.
No, it's
because
not
he's got
a
sword.
She's being ironic because this is when he looks stupid and blonde. She is baiting me, is what this is. He looks terrible.
This was a personal attack.
I'm looking it up. I hate it. Don't Google it, but do Google it and see how bad it is. It's so bad. No, but like Stardust, it's like embarrassing that he looks bad in that movie because that movie has like Charlie Cox and Ben Barnes and like all these handsome looking men, and then all of a sudden blonde. Yeah, she's making fun of me. It's terrible.
Does anyone else have any categories or discussion questions? There was one that I thought of. Oh, do we want to do like? There's not that many to choose from, TBH. But like, did anyone have an OTP they wanted to share? Because I think
I just want to show this.
Okay, I thought my computer did something bad.
No, I just wanted you to see.
Oh no!
It's horrifying. Okay,
That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I think mine is a tie, and this is partly because they were both like bright spots in books that had a lot of like depressing stuff. But I think like my honorable mention is what's his name? Is it Harriton? And young Kathy from Wuthering Heights, just because like in comparison to the rest of the book, I'm like, this is so nice and cute. But I think my favorite might be Abra and Caleb from East of Eden. I really liked them.
I really liked them too.
Yeah, I think you definitely.
How her name is though.
You definitely took mine, Kara. Abra and Caleb, not Kane. Caleb.
yeah, Freudian slip.
Whoops. Really good couple. I was going to do a joke one and do MLK and civil rights. And I was like, oh, Kara came out with a serious one.
I ship equality.
I mean, don't we all though? Yeah. But I mean, yes, I'm gonna third Abra and Kane. Not now. I said it. But I'll give a shout out to nameless main character and Frank, because I think they should have been together. I already said
it. That's right. Who was your like could have been favorite ship? Because I think mine is Assad and Layla from Sunlight on a Broken Column. Although that's like semi confirmed. I don't know. The ending leaves it open, but I ship them. That was my like my headcanon favorite, I think.
Mine is Assad and me.
Assad and happiness.
Wait, what?
Let me.
She said,
wait, Frank. Not a woman. Frank really delivers a feminine energy, though. He's very kind. He's a good listener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, Frank.
Yeah.
We all just had a moment of silence for Frank.
Okay, wait. I have a ship, but it's across books.
Yes. Share it.
Milady and Rebecca. Power.
Oh my god,
that
would be terrifying. Yeah.
Just
who would be my
bosses burning down an empire?
Taking care of those trash men, though.
I want to figure out who my cross book ship would be.
Yeah.
You guys can keep talking. I'm gonna just.
I'm
just gonna go to our live show playlist. Oh.
You know what? I will say, just while we're talking about Midsummer, I really do like Hermia and Lysander a lot. Like, I think they're so sweet, and I love that he's like willing to sass her dad and be like, "Run away with me!" Like, they're cute. Obviously, things go a bit haywire, but what were you gonna say, Taylor?
I was gonna say Hermia and Lysander was also really good.
Mm-hmm.
Zelda Fitzgerald in a writing class.
Yeah.
I'm trying to come up with
I'm trying to think of somebody from Can You Forgive Her? Like one of the female characters, because like TBH, most of them deserved better. I did like, what's his name? The guy who ate eggs. Plantagenet Palliser. He ended up being a good one. But I feel like the other romantic interests left something to be desired. So I'm trying to ship them with somebody. Any suggestions, friends?
Well, see, the problem is we have just a bountiful selection of amazing women, and then we don't really have any good men to ship them with. So I think we're going to have to go.
It'd have to be a woman, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to go sapphic on this one because there's just slim pickings.
Sure is, yeah. What about... I don't know, maybe Kate Vavasor seems pretty happy by herself, but I do think she and, did you say her name was Constance from Picture of Dorian Gray? Or did I make that up?
Sybil.
No, that's somebody else. Sorry.
Sybil. Constance
Sybil.
is from Three Musketeers.
Okay. I feel like
Okay.
Sybil and Kate could be very happy together.
Aw.
Yeah. Although I respect Kate's desire to stay single if that is what she wants.
I feel like I don't remember either of their names, but both of the sassy ladies from like Water for Chocolate and Sunlight on a Broken Column, like power couple. Like what were either of their names? I couldn't tell you right now, but I would just love to see like two rambunctious ladies be like, it's us against the world.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got two possible ones. So Jane Eyre and Martha from the Children's Hour.
Yeah.
As like
I
a
like
quiet, intellectual like couple that likes to read.
And they could also have their own school because she's a governess.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't be pedophiles like in Olivia.
Yeah.
And then
I love that idea.
Also do the narrator from Rebecca and Martha from the Children's Hour. But I do like Jane and Martha better.
Yeah. Basically, we just want Martha to be happy and loved, and I support this.
And alive.
Yeah.
And alive. Oh my God. Yeah. Can we, like, the fact that we read 2 Sapphic classics and they both had, like, horribly unpleasant tropes, but in different ways? Like,
one day we'll get there.
One day.
Yeah. I don't actually think, I was going to say, Orlando I know has a lot to do with gender, but I don't think it's in like that regard. But
right.
I'm hoping Virginia Woolf will deliver some of the energy we were hoping from those other ones. Because
yes.
Oof. Woof.
It's like, how are you so bad in such different ways?
And Dorothy, you were a bi woman. Come on now.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Choices were made.
Bold choices. All right. Is that everything? Wow. What a time. This was so fun.
Yeah. I really liked our shipping discussion too.
Yes.
Yes. I have been drafting new categories for our class. So it's going to be so much fun. I'm very excited.
Yes. I'm really excited about our book lineup too.
Yeah. I think we've got a good list.
What is there's like a fan fiction word for when it's like, I guess multi-fandom. I'm going to call it that. When like you're shipping people from different things.
Yeah.
There's like another word for it though.
I know, I can't think of it either, but I feel like I know what you're talking about.
But there we have it. The first annual, I've said this 5 times, the first annual Classic Awards. Yeah, we love them. We love to see them. Such a fun time. Thank you all for joining in. Crossover, that feels right. Crossover.
Yes, thank you, Hannah.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for reading and chatting with us.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was trying to get to saying was like, thank you for tuning in for all the sillies and also for the serious things along the way as we actually read these books and we're like, hey, listen, this is not so hot. This ain't it.
we bring the analysis and the feels, and you can do both.
Yes. I was just talking to Nana yesterday and she said she really appreciated the mix of like us just being silly and us like actually having intelligent things to say about these books. So.
Thanks.
Yeah. We appreciate you. And who would have thought over a year later we'd be sitting here doing this. So glad to keep it going.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much for being awesome, guys.
Yeah.
And
here's to the 2022 classics.
To 2022 classes. My class is empty.
Same.
Well, I got one little drop. It worked. And we'll say goodnight. We love you all. And see ya. She just tunes in no matter what. And we
love it. Yes.
And we'll see you guys soon because we'll be meeting to talk about some Sherlock Holmes.
In just a few weeks. That's right.
Yeah. Do we have our date set already?
Not yet.
Well, you'll see it on Twitter.
Yeah, if we keep, I think we like tentatively said Sunday, January 30th. At least that's what I have.
Yeah, that's
in my
what I have on my
calendar.
calendar.
Yeah. So I think it should be back to our usual time of 2 p.m. unless something comes up.
2 p.m. your time, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry. 2 p.m. my time, 5 p.m. for you guys.
I was like, I'm ushering a show. I can't do 2 p.m.
Sorry.
Okay, perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds good. We'll see you guys then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.